Every morning, an old man sat beneath the same ancient tree. He watched the sun rise, the birds sing, the children laugh, and the villagers begin another day. He rarely spoke, yet everyone who passed by greeted him with respect. They knew that wisdom does not always come from books. Sometimes, it comes from a lifetime of listening, learning, and living. Not far away, a young man believed life was a race. Every minute had to produce money. Every conversation had to create an opportunity. Every handshake had to lead to success. He worked tirelessly, climbed the ladder of success, and soon became one of the wealthiest businessmen in the city. People applauded him. His phone never stopped ringing. His calendar was always full. He believed he had finally won the game of life. His business expanded. His office grew larger. Expensive cars filled his driveway, and influential people competed for his attention. At grand celebrations, everyone praised his achievements. They called him a visionary, a champion, a man destined for greatness. Surrounded by laughter and admiration, he felt untouchable. But the old man beneath the tree knew something the young businessman did not. Seasons always change. Then one day, everything changed. The markets turned against him. Contracts disappeared. Investments failed. The numbers on the computer screens that once brought joy now brought fear. The office became quieter each day. The smiles of his employees slowly disappeared. The confidence he had built over many years began to crumble in only a few weeks. The businessman reached for his phone, hoping the friends who had celebrated with him would stand beside him now. He called one after another. Some ignored his calls. Others promised to call back but never did. The people who once competed for his attention had quietly disappeared. For the first time in many years, he sat alone. That lonely silence became his greatest teacher. As he sat outside his empty office, someone approached him, not a wealthy investor, not a powerful politician, but an old childhood friend. Dressed simply, carrying no riches, he offered something more valuable than money. He offered his presence. In that quiet conversation, the businessman discovered a truth many people learn too late. Real friendship is not measured by who celebrates your success. It is measured by who refuses to leave when success disappears. Meanwhile, far from the city, a farmer woke before sunrise. Every day, he planted seeds into the earth. The work was difficult. The results were invisible, yet he never complained. He understood that growth begins where patience lives. Days became weeks, weeks became months. Then the fields transformed into waves of golden harvest. The same hands that had planted tiny seeds now gathered abundant crops. Nature quietly reminded everyone that lasting success is never built overnight. Nearby, a builder laid one brick upon another. He never rushed the foundation because he knew that a weak beginning could never support a strong future. Brick by brick, wall by wall, the house slowly stood tall. Great things are rarely created in a single day. They are built through consistency, discipline, and faith. One afternoon, a young woman noticed an elderly blind man struggling to cross a busy road. She could have walked away like everyone else. Instead, she stopped, took his hand gently, and guided him safely across. Her kindness lasted only a few moments, but its impact would remain in that man's heart forever. Never underestimate a small act of kindness. Sometimes, the shortest moments leave the longest memories. Inside a classroom, a discouraged child believed he would never succeed. Then a teacher looked into his eyes and spoke words of encouragement instead of criticism. Those few words became the turning point in the child's life. Words carry extraordinary power. They can build confidence or destroy dreams. Before speaking, always ask yourself whether your words will leave someone stronger than you found them. Years of misunderstanding separated two brothers. Pride had built a wall between them that neither believed could ever be broken. But one day, they chose forgiveness over anger. As they embraced, tears replaced bitterness, and peace returned where pain had lived for so long. Forgiveness does not change the past, but it can completely transform the future. Across the village, ordinary people came together to help those in need. Food was shared, water was given freely. Strangers became neighbors. Hope spread from one heart to another. A community grows stronger when its people choose compassion over selfishness. The young businessman also chose to begin again. This time, he was no longer chasing applause. He worked with humility, accepted every lesson, and refused to give up after failure. Slowly, customers returned, opportunities appeared. But this new success felt different because it was built upon wisdom instead of pride. At home, families gathered around simple meals. There was no luxury, yet there was laughter. No expensive decorations, yet there was peace. In that humble home, the businessman finally understood that happiness cannot be purchased. It is created through love, gratitude, and togetherness. One morning, he returned to the ancient tree where the old man still sat peacefully, just as he had done for so many years. This time, the businessman wore simple clothes. He carried no pride, only gratitude. He sat quietly beside the elder as the sun slowly rose above the village. Without speaking, he finally understood the lesson the old man had been teaching all along. Life is not about how fast you run. It is about where your path leads. It is not about how much you own. It is about how many lives become better because you lived. True wealth is found in integrity. True success is measured by kindness. True greatness is revealed in humility. As the old man slowly walked through the village one final morning, children smiled. Families greeted him warmly, and neighbors bowed with respect. He had never been the richest man. He had never held the highest position. Yet his greatest achievement was something money could never buy. He left behind a legacy of wisdom, compassion, honesty, and hope. So as you continue your own journey, remember this: build your character before your fortune. Protect your integrity more than your reputation. Be patient in difficult seasons. Be generous when you have little. Forgive quickly. Speak kindly. Stand faithfully beside those who need you. Because when the applause fades and the crowds disappear, the life you have lived will be remembered not by the size of your house or the balance in your account, but by the goodness you planted in the hearts of others. And that is the kind of legacy that lives forever.